GM, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is Thursday, the 7th of August. Let's get straight into Bitcoin. And you can see Bitcoin here, decent positive day yesterday. I feel like the calls have been playing out fairly well over the last week on the channel. Obviously, we came down, we hit this 112 resistance. We've started to bounce. We got the higher low. We're now starting to make our way towards our resistance at around 116,000. And if we can break through there, I honestly think we'll have the momentum to take out the resistance of this bull flag and really start to get a breakout going. Hopefully over the next few days, it could even happen today. If we just go down to the shorter term time frames, we can see here we obviously found support. This is our 300 MA on the 4 hour, along with obviously the support we already talked about at 112. And we can see this obviously bouncing up into resistance, higher low, and now we're currently trying to make our way through resistance as we stand right here. So obviously it's going to be looking really good if we can get above this 116,000, and then hopefully we are looking at a breakout from this trend line. So 4 hour looking good, daily obviously starting to turn around and look good. On the weekly chart we can see that we are looking a bit extended here from the longer term moving averages, obviously well above or sorry, well below where prices currently are. However, I do believe we go higher. I think this is a situation where a lot of people are currently sidelined, or a lot of people are trying to position bearish, expecting some lower prices over the rest of this month. And I think those people end up getting front run. They have to chase back into the market. And that's what causes our aggressive move higher throughout the rest of this year, is really the fact that people are sidelined, people aren't fully positioned, people are expecting to have more time to accumulate, to have a choppy summer, to have a summer where there's downside, where there's a lot of fear, and that is just not what we're seeing right now. And even as I'm talking, we can see Bitcoin starting to push up, make its way back to 115,500. Maybe by the time this video is uploaded and out, Bitcoin's at 116. I wouldn't be too surprised, because things are really starting to move. And what is the chart that I've been looking at and talking about on the last 3-4 videos? It has been the VIX. Obviously, the VIX, the volatility index for the S&P, we saw absolutely spike up at the end of last week. There was max fear. People were worried about tariffs. It's August. It's a slow summer months. It's all of these risks coming back onto the table. And ever since then, we've seen the VIX just get absolutely destroyed, back down to the downside. I said, look, as long as we stay as long as we stay below 19, and this is back on Monday, I think it was, Monday, Tuesday. I said, as long as we stay below 19, I will be looking for things to go back risk on, for new all-time highs in stocks, for new all-time highs in Bitcoin. And since then, we bounced up on the Tuesday. We weren't able to get above 19. We pretty much found it as resistance, and we since started to break down. And now we're making new lows on the VIX today, new recent lows since this spike anyway. And it looks like we're heading back down to the mid-teens, which is exactly where we want to be, which is when people are looking to put more money to work in risk assets, because they have more confidence, because volatility is starting to fall down. We know that this trades inversely to what the stock market does. So, and if anything, this has been a bit of a leading indicator. I mean, this started to break down pretty much at midday yesterday, and I remember we had the stock market yesterday that was sort of still lingering below this high here. So that's when I started to get a bit more confident, add a little bit to some of my long positions in crypto, because I was like, look, this is really about to start to take off. And that is exactly what's happened. And we can see the S&P is starting to push into the 786 to the 0.86 right here. This is another potential rejection level, but as long as that VIX keeps on coming down, I'm expecting stocks to challenge all-time highs very soon. The Nasdaq is up there as well. So they've taken out, obviously, stocks have taken out their Tuesday highs. Bitcoin, I'd be expecting to also take out its Tuesday high or Monday high for Bitcoin at some point. So, Bitcoin lagging slightly, but we expect that. We do expect Bitcoin to lag. Obviously, capital, I think, will be flowing into the stock market. We'll see stock market hit new all-time highs, and then that money will start to look at stocks at new all-time highs and start to say to itself, well, I don't really want to be chasing stocks at new all-time highs and keep on buying high after potentially stocks are getting quite extended to the upside. I think then capital will look to shift and rotate. It will look at Bitcoin, it will look at Ethereum, it will then start to make its way along the risk curve and into crypto assets. And that's why I'm still very, very bullish on crypto. And I do think that crypto does not get left behind in what is going to be the mother of all bull runs to end this bull market in, and it could be finishing what has been a very, very long bull market for both stocks and for crypto at the end of this year. So this is really what I'm looking at. As we can see, if we look at a few of our altcoins that I've been talking about, Ethereum here. So Ethereum starting to bounce nicely, already taken out its Monday highs. So Ethereum still showing some relative strength. Solana as well, back above 170, so close to taking out its weekly highs. I think the high came in on Tuesday for Solana. Sui as well. I talked about both Solana and Sui coming into this moving average cluster on the daily, holding this as support and then bouncing higher. And that's exactly what we've seen. Obviously, I've got the path drawn here on Solana. It looks like we want to follow that. Sui as well into the moving average cluster, coming down to the zero point 0.5, using that as support. Very impressive move from Sui. PEPE, I've talked about it coming into this trend line. 200-day moving average, using that as support, starting to bounce. S Sonic as well, just front running this descending trend line. I've been talking about positioning into this, starting to bounce. Obviously a bit weaker than the others, but I do expect rotation at some point through these L1s, as usually what we tend to see is Bitcoin move first, Ethereum start to move. We're starting to see Ethereum move. We're starting to see relative strength of Ethereum. After Ethereum, the relative strength then tends to be found in the larger caps, the larger L1s, of which Sui, Solana, S, Nia, all fit within that category for me. So these are the coins that I've been focusing on. Obviously, Nia here as well, looking like it's turning around. If we put in a Fibonacci, we can see I'm expecting this to have come into, yeah, just below the zero point 0.5, just above the point 618. So ideal pullback retracement for a lot of these altcoins, and they look ready to go again. And the market really looks ready to go again after this flush. The other one we've been covering is Ton. Ton's been slightly weaker over the last few days, but what do you know? Like into the zero point 0.5 retracement, this is a key retracement that I look for on a lot of these altcoins when the market does pull back a bit. And we've seen that. And for me, this also has the green light to run to the upside over the next few days. So just to recap then, volatility has been falling down to those levels that I wanted to see to indicate that this market will be going risk on over the next few days. And this looks ideal. This is exactly what I wanted to see. We're seeing the stock market also take out the highs from earlier on in the week, really starting to make a move here. And I really think it's just a matter of time before Bitcoin challenges 116,000. If we can get those closes above 116,000, then I really do think we have the momentum to break out of this bull flag and potentially see new all-time highs going into the end of August. Obviously, if we reject there and we see the stock market reject at its 786 to 0.86 Fibonacci retracements, which is currently testing, and we see the VIX start to spike and we start to lose the lows from Tuesday on Bitcoin around about 112 and come back down here, then yes, potentially that does open up the door for lower prices later on this month. But right now, it's in the Bulls' court. The Bulls have everything to prove here. And let's see if they can take out the 116,000 and we can see that move that, well, certainly I'm hoping for. I'm guessing if you're long crypto and haven't de-risked or sold too much at the start of this month, which I personally had been advising against, hopefully you'd be looking for the same thing as well. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. GM, GM, GM.